Day one of the final one of Test concluding just now, and what a game of Test cricket it has been on day one. Absolutely mind boggling and extremely entertaining for genuine cricket lovers. And in this post match show of day one, I take delight to invite Abhijit Deshmukh. Thank you so much for joining. Uh, before we delve into the details of all the happenings from day one today, how about you summing up for us your thoughts on all the happenings from right from the beginning till now of day one, Abhijit ji?
Well, if you ask me at the start of the day if I would have taken the score of 338 for 7, I would say yes. Because, um, you know, any score about 270 to 300, I think it's a good score. And that too, we scored it in 73 overs. Although we lost a bit wickets, so that's a little disappointing, I would say. But I think the day completely belonged to Rishabh Pant and Jadeja. I think there was no chance we would have got near to this score if those two guys haven't played that one, especially Rishabh Pant. I think what a miracle knock it was. I think it will be remembered for a long time. I think to witness that knock on a television itself is a big thing. And I think that's the beauty of Test cricket. You see such knocks. Um, I absolutely have no words like the way he was hitting across the park and under such a situation. I mean, imagine you're coming at 98 for 5. Um, you've lost Virat Kohli. You're playing probably the one of the most toughest test match in past years, and you're about to create a history. You come that, and you see your team is 98 for 5, and then you just play your natural game and take India to a position where it's unbelievable. I mean, it's not easy. Hi, Joyda.
Hi,
Welcome,
hey,
Joyda.
what a day! What
Jo-
a day!
What a
Joyda,
day it has been.
we were talking like to witness such inning on a television. It's lucky. We could hardly imagine how lucky it is to witness the match at the knock at
Exactly.
the
And
ground.
speaking of being lucky, if we as viewers watching on TV feel lucky, let's have you talking. You literally have to be the luckiest person to actually get to witness such a brilliant innings by such a talented young batter like Rishabh Pant live in a stadium. Joyda, if you could elaborate on Rishabh Pant's excellence. He's completely now beyond words. How would you say?
See, he's a once in a lifetime player, and he's done things as a batsman which no one in the history of Indian cricket has done. So if you look at it that way, even the great MS Dhoni, look in Test cricket, what he has done, hundreds in England, hundreds in South Africa, hundreds in Australia. You know, it is. And just the sheer class of the knock. I mean, to get 88, 87, 100 in these conditions was just too good. And I'm not actually surprised because that's how good he is. He's done it before. It baffles me a little bit why he's not being done. Why he's not able to do it more consistently in white ball cricket. But in red ball cricket, he is phenomenal. I mean, he showed he was the difference between India being once all out and India being where they are today. And Jadeja with that second fiddle, the knock also took point. Absolutely.
Indeed, Rishabh Pant had played a blistering of a knock today. Nishant ji, welcome to the show. How about you talking us through that unbelievable 200 plus run partnership between Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja? Unfortunate that Rishabh Pant missed out on his well deserved 150 because, I would say this because Rishabh Pant has, I believe he has placed such a standard that for him, we wouldn't say, wow, you have scored a century, congratulations. We would say, oh God, you missed out on that 150, how bad. Because that's the kind of standard he has set himself at such a young age. I was going through his records that, unfortunately, he missed out on breaking Adam Gilchrist's record of being the highest scorer as a wicketkeeper batsman. And to come at a position when India were tottering at 98 for 5 to build up such a strong partnership and score a solid score for Team India. From now, you would say that Team India cannot lose this match. The option of losing is gone completely. We can happily say this. Please elaborate for us this Jadeja Pant partnership.
Uh, I would, I'm not as brave as you. So, and cricket is a funny game. It has done funny things to people. So
Ah,
I will
come on,
never
that's
say that.
optimism. Let's
No,
be
that's
honest.
not
Come.
optimism. Someone who
Yes.
has played cricket will understand what I'm saying. You can see the big smile on Jayada's face. It's a very funny game, Damni. The moment you say na that this will not happen, this game comes back and bites you very badly.
Bites
Very,
me
very
up.
badly.
Exactly.
It is a
So
very
See,
England
from
good
would
game.
98
India
for 5, 98 for 5, if we had the option of giving up, we had Rishabh Pant proving us wrong.
No, no, no. That's all fine.
no, no,
Just like
Damini,
life, live in the.
what Damini, what Nishant is saying is India gets 360, England get 550. Okay, we're under the pump. Because this is
Yeah.
still a very good batting wicket. And if England get
Jayada,
550
please
over
don't
here,
scare
we
us,
could be under the
please.
pump. No, no, no. I'm
Yeah.
not
No,
scaring you.
that's.
I'm telling you the scenarios. I'm not
Can
scaring you.
happen.
I'm
Yeah.
as much
Yeah.
I'm as much
Yes.
India supporter as you are. I'm as much we
Hmm.
all want the same thing, but having been around for a long time, having seen many more summers than you have, it's just that India is not out of the woods as yet. They're in a very good position. But you never
Hmm.
know how good the pitch is until both the teams have bowled on it. So after we've bowled,
Absolutely.
if we can be from
Mhm.
98 for 5, if we can be here, then they could, if they are not 98 for 5, if they're 90 for 2, then they could also get 450. So we could come under the pump. I'm not talking about losing or winning. I said we could be under pressure, and strange things happen under pressure. I think that is what
Yeah.
Nishant is trying to say.
Yeah, and test match are very in
Yes,
2020
Nishant,
cricket,
please,
in
please.
one day cricket, in 2020 cricket, in one day cricket, Dhamni, one can still predict. Like you can look at the score, like a team batting first has got 200 runs. More often than not, you know that the team batting second will find it difficult in a 2020 game. More often than not. But in test match, things change so quickly that it is unbelievable. Just imagine if, like, I'm just giving you two scenarios. It could be England coming into bat tomorrow, fresh wicket, overnight some rain, some dew. India loses two wickets quickly, 350 out. England is 20 for 5. Who knows? It happens in England. At that time, we can say that now this is India's test match to lose. But at this time, I would say it's 50-50. Because if we have Pant, they have Barristow. If we have Jadeja, they have Ben Stokes.
They have
And
root.
they are playing some exceptional cricket at this stage. Like what I saw, the
They are at the
kind of
form of
cricket,
their life.
not the, I would not say the form of their life, but the brand of cricket they are playing. They are playing like they're pure entertainers. They are there to entertain people. I think what Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum have been able to do, even in that partnership of 200 runs, I'll give you a very small example. And Joyda was there on the ground. When India has scored these runs at an average of 4.5, and more often than not, when a bowling batting team is scoring at that rate, bowling teams, you see at some stage their shoulders start dropping. You feel that sense of helplessness. You feel that okay, now everyone is on its own. Like on a cricket, what happens is na, when the match starts, everyone is shabash, 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 yahan dalo, ye dalo. There is shore around the batsman. There is noise around the batsman. And batsman can feel it. Ki this is 11 versus me. And suddenly, when the batsman starts dominating, you start feeling that silence because it's in England, the Barmy army also gets silent. But in this England side, not for a moment I saw that smiles left their face. Their body language was still very good. Obviously, what Pant was doing to them, what Jadeja were doing to them, they were hammering, actually hammering them. They were getting 1-4 every over. That was some outstanding, in a modern day test cricket, the players who are more often than not successful are the players who know how to counter attack. And luckily, India has people like Pant, people like Jadeja, they know how to counter attack. It was a great mix of aggression with caution. I I am like a lot of people will be impressed with the kind of shots Jadeja and Pant have played, but I am very impressed with the kind of some of the balls they have left. Very impressive, knowing exactly where their off stump is, what is the line, from where the ball can swing out or come in. Very well aware of their game. Still, a good ball can take them, like it happened with Pujara. But all in all, great batting. But still, we have a long, long way to go in this test match.
I think it's been a very long time I've seen two Indian left-handed batsmen had a good partnership. I think one was again Yuvraj and Ganguly playing a good partnership. I think after a long time, we don't see that often. Two left-handed batsmen, Indian batsmen
Yeah.
playing that good partnership in Test
Actually,
match.
it's a very good point. I don't even remember. Like since you have said this, I'm just jogging my memory and thinking, "यार, ये कब हुआ था
I
last
think
time?"
I
And
tried.
and you have credit to you, Abhijit. You could go in
But
your mind drive, and take out that
because
file
I'm
of
a
Yuvraj
left-handed
and
batsman,
Ganguly.
I'm a left-handed batsman too. That
Oh,
I checked that the fact is
That
Saurav
you're
Ganguly
explains
and
talking.
Yuvraj
why you
You're
played
knew
talking.
in
this.
2000.
You're talking for your
Yuvraj,
tribe, huh? Southpaws.
no, I think
Okay.
Left-handers club.
rare thing, rare thing to see witness. I think historic partnership.
I think Damni, it's very important to ask Joyda. You know, I was thinking, and I sometimes I'm like really, really amazed by the longevity of James Anderson. Like what he has been doing for
He's growing
so
younger.
many,
Let's just say he's growing
for
younger.
how many years, and the same James Anderson and Stuart Broad were dropped. Like they were dropped, they were not taken to
Hmm.
West Indies.
It
At
really
one point,
had the
it
whole
looked like,
people, everybody,
and
had eyebrows raised. What's going on? How can
and
you,
to be
out of
honest,
all the people in the world, you can have
and
Stuart
at
Broad and
that
James
stage,
Anderson not in the squad?
it looked like that England is moving ahead. They are leaving these two guys behind on the station. Now the new England team in this train, they will not come in. But outstanding, like Joyda, please tell us what it is to see a legend like this on the field, like doing those little things with the red ball, duke ball, which always has been his strength, especially in those conditions. I was listening to commentary, and a very interesting point was made by Nasir Hussain very early in the day. He said that James Anderson very quickly realized that it's not swinging much, so he's seaming the ball now. Now Joyda should explain to us that when a bowler realizes that it's not swinging, then what does for a layman mean that now he's seaming the ball?
I believe Jayada is facing some network issues because he's traveling.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, yeah, in the meanwhile, if I can request Avijit ji to talk us through one point which at this point, if you know, we cannot stop talking about how brilliant that partnership between Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja was. Unbelievable. That was beyond words. You cannot explain it in words. But if we try to delve into a bit of the darker side of this innings, is that Team India's top order vulnerability, would you say, was very easily laid in front of the opposition? The English bowlers know now very well that the top five you can get out very easily, so they'll when they come out to bowl again in the second innings, when India is batting, they'll have a different approach to bowl to Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja, and then automatically have the game
We
at
have
their
Joyda back.
grasp. This
Joyda,
vulnerability, if you can ask. Joyada, are you
Joyda.
here? I'm still
Okay.
facing network
I
issues.
think
Then
I'll
Sabiji
continue.
ji,
I
if you
think
could continue.
yeah.
Yes.
Um, See, I think conditions were not easy to bat on, and credit to James Anderson for the initial wickets he took. But as I said earlier, Hanuma Vihari, I think he wasted an opportunity. I mean, he could have done better. You don't get such opportunity again. As I said, I check his stats. He's playing his 16th test match. Again, I think he has scored only 828 run, played 26 innings. This was his 27th inning. I think so. A big opportunity lost by Hanumaveri. Even Shreyas Iyer. I think you won't
Agreed,
get. I
fully
mean,
agreed.
once KL Rahul,
Completely.
Rohit Sharma comes back, it will be difficult. And I think again one thing, R Ashwin is not in the playing 11. So I think once he is also there, it will be extremely tough. Jadeja and of course all they have cemented their place in this test 11. I don't see Jadeja, Rishabh Pant, Kohli. I think they. I mean, again, Rohit Sharma and everyone comes back. You can't just touch their place in England. I think that those are the
And
loss opportunity. But I think what
and Abhijit,
and
just to
Yeah.
add to Abhijit's point, I'm sorry, Abhijit, I'm
Hmm.
just taking time from your answer. Just imagine you have left someone like Ajinkya Rahane behind. Just understand that at
yeah,
what cost you have got this place.
yeah,
Whether it is Shreyas Iyer, whether it is
yeah.
Hanuma Vihari, and whether it is to an extent Shubman Gill.
I think
Basically, you
Shubman
have
Gill.
to
I
live
would
up to the
say
expectation
Shubman.
of,
No, I think Shubman.
No, no, no.
taking
Again,
up
as an
somebody's place, and
I
then
No, no,
agree. Shubman Gill didn't play that well, but I think it's still he hasn't played that
yeah, no,
many
he
test
will,
matches as
because
Hanuma Vihari. Yep,
he's young and his talent is such that that when he's also like a Viru kind of a player who
yep,
gets a
definitely.
lot of boundaries. When he will play that match winning knock. That is with him.
Yep.
But particularly when just imagine you have India's full strength squad. You have Rahul and Rohit opening, Pujara in this form at 3,
Yep. Kohli
Virat
number
at
four,
4, Virat at
five
4,
Rishabh Pant.
5 Rishabh Pant, 6
Rishabh Pant,
Jadeja, 6
Jadeja.
Jadeja, 7 either Shardul or Ashwin, depending on which
Hmm.
conditions you are
Which
playing,
you
Hmm.
Shami,
Bumrah,
Bumrah.
Shami, Bumrah.
Bumrah.
So you have very little opportunities.
Absolutely.
Those
I
opportunities
think
will be
one one
far
another
and
thing I
few.
would one another thing I would to add like to add here is Hardik Pandya. I think he's
Yeah,
also done well in the test match. I think to be honest,
absolutely.
I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe BCCI would have given a thought to include Hardik in the test side because he has done with the ball well in England as well.
He could be.
And
He could.
Yes.
even Bharat
Can I
Yes.
just
Bharat did well in
can
the
I just
practice match.
comment that you
So
can't
and
have
I to be honest,
Jadeja at
Pujara
six.
Yes, Joyada, we
is a
have you back.
wonderful
Yes, Joyada.
You can't have Jadeja at six.
Pujara
Jadeja is going to
is
be
the best
7
at
in
number
test
three.
matches. You can't have Jadeja at 6. It's going to be Jadeja at 7. You have to play 6 batters with Pant. You're playing 5 batters and keeper. If you have Jadeja at 6,
Yeah.
Ashwin at 7, that's not a strong batting. You have to have a
Hmm.
batter at 6. If Pant plays 5, batter at 6, Jadeja stroke Ashwin at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you want to play 2 spinners and 3 fast bowlers, or you want to play one spinner and 4 fast bowlers is up to you. But you still got to, you can't, you have to play 6 batters with the keeper. 6 is
Hmm.
too early for Jadeja. 7 is Jadeja stroke Ashwin. Otherwise, you play Jadeja and Ashwin at 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11 can be 3 fast bowlers. Like here, you've gone for Shardul over Ashwin, which is a cricket call. We've got 4 seamers. It's okay. We saw what happened
Okay,
to New Zealand this
Joyada,
wicket. Yeah, just to
yes,
answer that
speak.
question, can I answer the question?
Yes,
Nishant had a great question earlier.
yes,
I think
yes,
firstly,
please, please.
James Anderson is a great athlete, so that's why he's like the Roger Federer of cricket. He just keeps going and going and going.
Wow, what an
Also,
analogy.
he's only playing
Beautiful.
cricket in England now. He's not going to Sri Lanka. He's not going to Pakistan. He's not going to Sharjah. He's not going to India. So he will also play in conditions where it suits his type of bowling, and he deserves that. He's earned the lines for that. Because if he goes everywhere, he probably won't be able to play as long. But England plays 6, 7, 8 Test matches a year in England, so he will get there. But the difference between swing and seam is sometimes when the ball becomes wet, the swing stops. That's when off the wing you try to so you play with the angles. And today Broad struggled, Potts struggled, and he was the only one. Every time he came to bowl, even Ben Stokes struggled. He was going at 4 runs and over. But the only bowler in the whole day who looked like getting a wicket in every spell was James Anderson. because that's quality for you, that's class for you. And on days like today, when everybody else is struggling to look their part, he stood out. It's days like today that make us realize how special he is. Because when everybody is bowling well, James Anderson is also bowling well. But when everybody else is struggling, there's a 39-year-old man after 150 Test matches still looking the best. So that is what separates him.
I think I
So,
know I'll share a very funny
yeah.
anecdote, and this was about the great Glenn McGrath, one of the very good Indian batsmen. I will not name that batsman, and he used to have a very funny joke about Glenn McGrath, and he used to say, "अच्छा बताओ दुनिया में सबसे आसान सवाल क्या है?" तो बोले क्या है कि ग्लेन मैग्रा कहाँ बॉल डालेगा? जस्ट आउटसाइड द ऑफ स्टंप, 3/4 लेंथ इन द कॉरिडोर ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी। सबको मालूम है 6 में से 6 बॉल वहीं डालेगा वो, सुबह शाम रात डिनर लंच ब्रेकफास्ट। और बोला सबसे मुश्किल सवाल क्या है? बोले क्या है? बोले उसके बाद वो जाएगी कहाँ? क्योंकि जो होगा वहां से होगा, उससे पहले कुछ भी नहीं होगा, और वहां से जब कुछ होगा तो यू हैव वेरी लिटिल टाइम, फिर तो भगवान भरोसे हो। मेरे को किसने एक बड़ा जोयदा विल टेल मी, आई एम जस्ट गोइंग इनटू अ लिटिल टेक्निकल थिंग बिकॉज़ टेस्ट क्रिकेट गिव्स यू दैट टाइम टू डू दैट। तो मैं किसे पूछ रहा था कि शॉन पॉलक जब वॉविकशायर में काउंटी खेलता ना, तो मैं किसी बैट्समैन से पूछा, मैंने कहा आप इस लेवल के स्विंग बॉलर को कैसे खेलते हो? कहता है हम उसकी हर बॉल को वी ट्रीटेड एज एन इन स्विंगर। अब वहां से अगर वो आउट स्विंगर हो जाती है तो भगवान बचाएगा, या तो बीट होगा या एज होगा। My aim is to defend my stumps, not allow my stumps to be rattled. So I take his every ball. When you don't know, the seam is so straight, it is landing on seam. Until that time, you don't know where it will go. But after landing, it will do just this much. कि थोड़ा सा 4 इंच अंदर आ जाएगा या 4 इंच बाहर चला जाएगा, पर तब तक आप तो कमिट कर चुके हो ना, आप तो उसको इन स्विंगर के लिए खेल चुके हो या आउट स्विंगर के लिए खेल चुके हो, अंदर आने के लिए खेल चुके हो, बाहर आने के लिए खेल चुके हो। लेकिन कहता है देयर इज नो चांस, आवर ओनली चांस इज दैट प्ले हिम फॉर एन इन स्विंगर। एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट यू हैव टू डू विद समवन लाइक जेम्स एंडरसन, व्हाट ही वाज डूइंग टुडे। लाइक he is like on top of those all these bowlers, McGrath, Pollock, now James Anderson. The way he was using the seam today, hitting the ball on the seam and then making sure that it just does enough, keeps the batsman always guessing कि ये कहाँ जाएगी, अंदर आएगी बाहर आएगी, अंदर आएगी बाहर आएगी। Asif, he never played for Pakistan as much as what a beautiful bowler he was. उसको खुद नहीं पता होता था कि कहाँ जाएगा बॉल उसका, लेकिन nightmare for batsmen. I think Joyda, because he was there, he would tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. See, so his length got a little fuller because this pitch today didn't have a lot of pace in it. It was, it wasn't one of those really seaming tracks. The conditions made it a little bit. Sometimes the sun came out, it was really nice. Sometimes it got really cloudy. So in that time, it was difficult for batting. But he just put his length up by a yard or two, and that's the way he did something which Ben Stokes and Broad and Potts didn't do. They were a little trifle short of this pitch. See, the lesser time, the closer you pitch the ball to the batter, the less time, like you said, Nishan, great point, the batsman has to adjust to the ball, what you're going to do. So the shorter it falls, the more time a batter has to adjust to what he is doing after pitching. And the closer it falls to the batsman, you have less time. And that is what he preyed on today. He was bullying a yard and a half fuller, and he was moving, nibbling it from there. Every time he bowled, he looked like getting a wicket. He has a plan in place. And one more thing you said about McGrath, there was one stat from McGrath at the end of the whole year. The video analyst came and told McGrath that you have bowled 6 balls on the leg stump this year. He said that number will be 0 next year. In the whole year, he had bowled 6 balls on the leg stump. So that is the reason. That is the reason why these guys are great as they are. Along with all the artillery that you have, along with all the artistry you have, the number one point that they have, their greatest quality is their accuracy, because they stifle you. They give you nothing. They don't get a wicket every ball. They don't get a wicket every over, but they give you nothing away. McGrath and of course, then comes the skill. So the first thing you teach a young boy. Yeah.
Length is length can be adjusted. Line is mandatory. Like you have to be on that line, in that channel all the time.
Okay, before we wrap up this show, Abhijit ji, one question that I have is, yes, Jada? You were saying something?
No, it was
Joy,
Oh,
guys, go on.
Joyda again. Joyda is facing network issues. Abhijit ji, Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant, two youngsters, very talented in the Indian squad. The playing style of both the batters is more or less the same. Both, have that attacking mode, but if we compare both of them, somehow Shubman Gill can be seen a bit struggling, especially with regard to England. Whereas Rishabh Pant's approach is a lot more confident, as we would say, because if both of them are attacking, but it's Rishabh Pant who's coming out successful every time. Shubman Gill somehow is not finding
Yeah,
that
I think
correct
uh,
mantra. So how would you decode this?
I think the first thing we should understand is Shubman Gill is opening, so the ball is new, and if we give a new ball to a pace bowler, he would love that. So I think it's not an easy job to be an opening batsman.
Yeah,
So Shubman Gill, I think he has proved that one in the last Test match. I think it was at Gabba against Australia. He played a wonderful number of 90 periods.
Yes, 91.
Yeah, I think same. I think what Rishabh Pant did was in the middle order. Uh, I think it was the initial start which Shubman Gill gave. I think that was one of the reason Rishabh was able to score that one. I think it's in his initial years. I think both are a super. I mean, Rishabh is already a superstar now. Shubman Gill also will be in the future a very and I think probably we might see that. I think he was looking good. I mean, 17 runs of 24 balls. He was looking good. Scored four boundaries. Was looking good. Actually, I was surprised that he got out so early. But that was a beautiful ball by Anderson. But I think in future, obviously, Gill will do. I think we still have a second innings. I think what has happened now is after that knock by Rishabh Pant and that partnership between Pant and Jadeja, the momentum has changed in the Indian racing team. You imagine
yeah.
98 for 5, and then one plays
Indeed.
such kind of winning, then everyone says, "Oh, fine." Even the bowlers will feel better now. Okay, we have some a good score. I mean, imagine 338 for 7 in day one, that too in just 73 overs. I don't think
Exactly.
it's been a very long time I've seen that one. You don't see that many runs on the day one itself. So I think tomorrow when India will come back, I think even if they score, I don't know how much. If they score plus 400, I think it will be a best thing that to happen. And I think even the bowlers will feel good. Even when it will shift the momentum towards the opening batsman when they'll come to the next time to bat. So then they'll feel. I think this things adds up a lot when you have okay, fine, we are now leading in the first innings, so then it takes the pressure off as well. I think then you will see better of Shubman Gill, Gujarat has done well earlier. Maybe we had yes, but I think it's too early for Shubman Gill to say, like it's a different job. I mean, Nishat also knows, like how difficult it is to open. Not everyone is successful as opening batsman, but I think Shubman Gill of course has that capability to do that.
Indeed. And the final question before we call it a night, rather, Nishant ji, now Team India has ended day one on the 73rd over at 338 for 7. This is how it stands now. The only person looking extremely good after Rishabh Pant is Ravindra Jadeja, now 83 not out. Tomorrow, as day two begins, when Team India again comes out to bat with Ravindra Jadeja and Mohammad Shami, the English bowlers come out to bat. How do you see things shaping up? Because at this stage, India have a good good score, I would say, a good score. Tomorrow, from here on, where do you see Team India, continuing their batting? If not getting all out, if they manage to hold on to that declaring position, how do you see
I don't
India's
think
scheme
that
of
will
things?
happen. I don't think that will happen. India is 338 for 7, and I don't think at any stage India would be in a position where they will declare the innings. So India's best scenario would be to reach 400, and
400.
for that, yeah, to and because they are like 62 runs short of it. You have
Yes.
Jadeja at one end. All he needs is
Yes.
two 30-run partnerships where he can do the maximum amount of scoring. That's
Somebody
how you have to.
supporting him.
Yeah. So whether it is Shami, whether it is the Bumrah, Captain Bumrah, and or who else is yeah, whether it is
Siraj.
Shami or Captain Bumrah.
Yep.
So India would be very happy that after losing the toss, and at one point they were 90 for 5 or 90 for 4. Sorry, I'm like misconfused. Yeah,
98 for 5.
98 for 5. If they reach 400, it's a job well done. It just makes them very comfortable in the test match. And they
Indeed.
will always be thinking, even if there is a one big partnership in England team, they will know. Like, how it plays on your mind is that, for example, if you have 300 runs and England gets one good partnership, you feel like that the game is running away from you. And now you have to chase
Yes.
it. But in this stage, when you have 400 runs, you always feel that you are in the game. You're in the game. And
Yes.
you know
You
this
have
very well.
something to hold. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you also know this very well that England would be batting last on this wicket. So even if England gets a 50-run lead, like they bat exceptionally well and get 450, India still will think that in our second innings, if we get 350, they still will be
Mm.
chasing 300 on a 50 wicket. So
Yes.
I think India's first aim would be to get 400, and that would be spectacular with Ravindra Jadeja's 100. But again, for that, it would be very important Jadeja to see the bulk of bowling tomorrow. Make sure that he doesn't
Mm.
expose the likes of Shami and Bumrah to the new ball, which will be due in next 6 overs, 7 overs,
Mm.
73 overs. So I think what India would,
Yes.
what Jadeja would like to do at that stage would be make the maximum of the old ball, like 6 overs,
Yes.
whatever will be bowled with that ball, attack with caution, but stay, make sure that he keeps getting runs. And when the new ball comes, he takes the responsibility of facing it as much as possible. And I think that's how India would go about it. Anything above 350, they will be happy, but they will not be satisfied.
Yes.
400 will make that dressing room a very happy place.
Yep.
A
I think,
very
but
happy
one
place,
good
just
thing
like
is one good thing we should also see is like the condition what today is probably will be similar tomorrow as well. And I think when Indian bowlers will come out, they'll have that confidence. Like we were at 98 for 5, and it was suiting the pace bowler. So we also have a good attack. Bumrah, Shami,
Yeah,
you know, uh,
yes. Well,
Siraj, and then Shardul Thakur. So I think we also have skin in the game pretty much when we will come into bowling. So I think
yeah,
let's hope tomorrow we'll score more, and when we'll back, think we'll be in a good shape as well.
yeah. 400 will nicely set up this test match. It will be a
Yep,
beautiful
yep, yep.
because India has,
Yeah,
if although we have lost almost 13 overs, 16 overs of play
17
today,
overs. Yep.
17 overs of play today.
16 overs. Yeah.
But still, if you look at the scorecard, because the way India has scored those runs,
Abs-
it doesn't look like that it
Amazing.
was not a full
Yep,
day.
yep,
And
yep,
tomorrow there will be 100 overs, 5 overs,
yep, yep,
like to make up for the lost overs. So match
yep,
will start a little early,
yep.
and it will be like almost 100 overs of play tomorrow if the day is clear. So it will be very interesting. I'm thinking like if we get 400, it'll be a great test, Damini. And
When you say about 400, I have I mean, Sachin Tendulkar used to say to Sehwag all the time. You remember that test match in Melbourne, which we lost in
hmm,
2004? So Sehwag
yeah,
scored 195.
I was covering
I
that
think that,
match.
yeah, that match, I guess we didn't score 400. So I think in Pakistan, when India toured, so Sachin was telling Sehwag that once we score 400, there's very less chance of we losing the test match.
Yeah.
I think that is still applicable in not in completely way, but in a small way. If you get 400 in the first inning, it's not impossible to lose, but I think it's difficult for the opposition to win from that situation. And I think
No,
even
and
Yes.
this
Yes.
match, if we draw, we win the series. But I think we will still hope India to win that match. Long
yeah.
way to go, but
Yes. Yes, we all hope that India do win this match, and yes, India have to breach that 400 mark to have a very happy dressing room, just like a very happy Rahul Dravid, whose pictures are going viral ever since Rishabh Pant got to that lovely three-figure mark. And with this, we come to the conclusion of day one's complete analysis. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. We meet again tomorrow for day 2. Eagerly waiting cricket fans wanting to consume a lot of cricket that Team India and Team England have in store for us. Until then, good night, take care, and let's meet